Love can't hide so much conflict, even at 4:44 in the morning. Let my car turn around, let it roll, cause I'm in control. Friday night on 56.
Before we get in today's video, I have to give a big shout out to Rick Eckerly. He went ahead and sent us out a bunch of batteries for the camera to make sure that you guys never have to have a dead battery ever again. So thank you, Rick. We definitely appreciate it here. You guys want to see right there? Rick Eckerly. Thank you very much, Rick. I definitely appreciate it. Now we don't ever have to worry about me not plugging in the dang camera anymore. So let's get on to today's video. What is up, guys? And after a nice little break, we are back at it again. Gonna be making a video for you guys, and as you can tell by the thumbnail, we picked up another car. Yep, and it is another Evo. This is an Evo 8. This is a 2003, obviously Evo 8, but this thing is super clean, guys. And the best part about this is one of you guys could possibly own this car. So that is gonna be the fun part about it. Obviously, we did pick this thing up. It doesn't run. It threw a rod through the block, and this thing has quite the story. I've worked on this car before, and it had a burnt valve, so we went ahead and pulled the head off. And at that point in time, he had purchased a 2006 MRSE that was rolled over. It only had 35,000 miles on it, guys. So he picked that up to put the drivetrain into this car, and so with that came put everything from that car into here. So it does have ACDT case now. It does have the 6-speed transmission, and it does have that engine and turbo and everything from the MR, including the interior as well, which is obviously really nice. The bad news, obviously, with it being on a rollover, it eventually rod knocked on him not too long after he put it in the car, and he had someone rebuild it, and it was a shop, and when they rebuilt it, not too long after, it threw a rod. So he went ahead and rebuilt this thing again, and it did the exact same thing again. The tune on the car has never been changed, and I don't know how reputable the person is that's rebuilding it is, or what parts they used. Obviously they used stock parts and they rebuilt it, so something's not adding up. But that's not the topic today. The topic is we're going to get this thing fixed, and we have a new engine on the way for this thing, complete long block OEM JDM engine that is on the way. I already ordered it as soon as I got the car. Went ahead and ordered the motor. That way we can get that thing coming, get the thing together. It does have a brand new clutch in it, timing belt kit, and obviously oil pump and everything else in the car, but we're not going to get into that stuff. We do need to take this head because it is a MyVec head now, and the car is converted completely over to an Evo 9 wire harness as well. So fingers crossed that this head did not get damaged. So that's what we need to do. First off, we need to go ahead and get the head off the car, but first, just doing a quick walk around the car. I mean, this thing just had a brand new paint job done. They went ahead and repainted the whole car. It does need the roof rails up there put back on. We do have those, and looks like we're missing a window visor over here. But this thing is so clean, guys. It's all stock intercooler there, all the mesh in the bumper. I am going to do a different lip that's a lot more subtle than that, more OEM style, but hopefully this thing's just picking it up on camera of how clean this car is. Guys, obviously brand new paint job, whole body went through, not a single dent, ding in the car. Thing is super clean. Wing looks really good as well, and it has a medallion cap back on it. These wheels, actually gonna take these off, sell these, put a brand new set of wheels and tires on this thing that fit a little bit better. I do have a different set of taillights that have a clear, I believe this is the backup light on the Evos, a clear light there, so I'm gonna put those on it and do little things of cleaning this thing up. But all in all, I mean, it's a clean car, guys. Let's take a look on the interior. This thing, I haven't even vacuumed it out or anything, but this thing is super clean, and it does have the cluster in it with, oh geez, I believe it has 40K now. Yep, 40,872. I don't know if that's picking up for you guys, but I do have all the paperwork too from the other car. He gave me a copy of the title before he went ahead and scrapped it, so I do have that for it. Obviously this car is a clean title, lower miles chassis. I do need to double check with him, but I believe this thing is right around 120 on the body, but I'm going to double check him. At worst case, I'll go ahead and pull the Carfax on the car as well, but I do know he has the cluster from the car as well. So taking a look here, like I said, guys, this thing is pretty much all stock. Looks like it even has a stock downpipe from what I can tell, but everything looks to be all stock. Obviously it has a different filter on over here, not the stock airbox, but like I said guys, this thing is so clean. You never see white ones either. And then look at this thing. I just washed this dang car and it's already freaking dirty again. Man, I guess that's the story of life with black, right? But I know I'm torn. I'm like, do I keep the white one? Keep the black one? I don't know. Which one? The whites, I love white, guys, as most of you guys know. But I love the black on the Evos too. So there is going to be some things I'm going to switch on this car over to that car, or whichever one I'm keeping, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the black car. And this one, when I say you guys have a chance to own this car, we are going to fix this thing and then it's going up for sale. So I'll be letting you guys know the exact price on this thing as soon as we get further into it. And the best thing is, a subscriber will get a better deal on this car than me posting it up just as a normal person. So that is going to be a plus for you guys. So only thing that's left to do, guys, go ahead, start getting this thing pulled apart. So to get started out, we're going to go ahead and obviously unhook our battery. And I've learned my lesson. We're going to get that dang strut bar out of our way right now and get this thing up in the air so we can start draining the coolant system. Also, I am just going to pull the head right now so that way we can see what kind of damage we have, and fingers crossed that this head's good to go. We can just get it cleaned up, hot tanked, and checked for the other engine and get it back together. Now, obviously there's a different story for a short block because it has a hole in it. So we're going to go ahead and take the head off of it and then pull the rest of this out like we do normally. But right now the head is what's important, since we don't have the other engine here yet, and that will be coming hopefully very soon. It's on its way already. It's been making progress, so hopefully that comes soon. But to start out, we're going to get the head off so that way we can see if we have to start sourcing possibly another head. And maybe some of you can let me know down in the description, because I couldn't really find out the information. The car's an Evo 8, but it has a full Evo 9 wire harness. Now it has a Myvec head on it right now, and the engine I bought would be a non-Myvec Evo 8 engine. So I was just going to go ahead and take this head, put it on there, which I know you have to tap it out for the Myvec line in the back, which is an oil supply line. So I ordered the drill bit that we need for that and the tap, so that way I can put this cylinder head onto the Evo 8 block. And I ordered a full OEM Evo 9 engine gasket kit, so that way we can use the Evo 9 head gasket, and any gaskets that we're going to need to replace, we can replace with OEM gaskets. So I got that on the way. But my question is, and maybe some of you guys can answer this, because I know there's been more and more Evo people on here. I know you can do this in Subarus, but on this, can you just delete Myvec on the computer, like through the codes, and then maybe we could just run the Evo 8 engine and I wouldn't even have to switch the heads, which would be the easiest route. But I'm not sure if you can just put a non-Myvec engine in here and turn off whatever codes are going to come up, because I have heard some that the wire harnesses are a little bit different on this, which I think they're just only different for the Myvec on it. But like I said, I'm not an Evo specialist, so if you know, go ahead and leave a comment down in the description if you can put a non-Myvec engine into a Myvec car. I do know on high horsepower they delete Myvec, so I'm assuming that this answer is going to be yes, and you just have to go ahead and retune the car obviously and delete the code. So if that is the answer, then there's a good chance we're just going to use the other engine and put that in here and not even have to deal with this head. So yes, just go ahead and let me know, guys. Let's get going on this thing and get started. as you guys can tell, we were on a different part of the day. Yesterday we ran out of time. I didn't get to start working on this thing until later in the day because personal cars come last. So went ahead and got pretty far last night, to be honest with you guys, and we're back out here this morning. Originally I was planning on just pulling the cylinder head off of this thing and leaving it in there and then pulling out the swap, but to be honest with you, we're already got to pull the swap out no matter what. It's not like I'm trying to diagnose this thing. I already know it has a hole through the block and oil pan, so might as well go ahead and pull this whole motor tranny out of this thing. So we got the radiator out, we got all our piping off here, and I did get the under brace off underneath, and there's another pretty nice skid shield underneath that I got that off, and everything's ready. The downpipe's off as well, so we need to get our wheels off this morning, get our axles out, and from there, I mean, we're getting pretty much close to drop this thing out. So obviously I need to undo our shift linkage, I need to unbolt our T-case, pull our stubby out of the shaft, which I'll show you guys there, and I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm torn. I'm pretty certain this car has AC. It looks like it has a brand new condenser here, so I don't really want to pull the line off or drain the AC, and I don't really want to pull the line off of the power steering and drop it out with the motor. So I think I'm just going to unbolt that stuff, put it over to the side like I normally do. The only thing is the AC I have not done on an Evo 8-9 before. I've done it on the Evo 10 and you can sit it to the side, but on these cars, this is actually the first stock car I've ever worked on in this body style year, and definitely a lot different than something like that where there's not really much anything left at stock in there anymore. So that one is definitely easier to work on obviously than this, but I'm sure that's probably just because I haven't worked on them before. And it is kind of refreshing to see one. It doesn't even have a downpipe, guys. There's no mods on it at all. It's 100% stock boost controller, stock piping, stock intake, you name it, everything's stock on it. It just needs the air box there, which I might try to source one just to have it all the way 100% stock. But this thing is actually pretty stock, and that's pretty surprising. I mean, after all these years, to see one that's stock, it's kind of nice. So let's get these wheels off, get these axles out, and from there we'll get dropping that motor out. So moving right along, we got both axles out and I got that shaft out of the transmission, which you'll see right here. And if you're not familiar with Evos, big thank you to Josh. He gave me a slide hammer. It has a bolt that screws in there and you can pull the shaft out. You need to pull this out to be able to separate the transfer case from the transmission. So we went ahead, got that out of there. Now that we got the axles all the way out of this thing, it's pretty much ready to drop. The only thing that I need to address is obviously the power steering and the AC. So I've been kind of putting those off, but I do believe I'm just going to unbolt the power steering and the AC, leave them in the car. I guess we could check to see if it does even have AC first, which I'm pretty certain this thing does. Oh man, those things are freaking tight. Let me grab something to grab that. And then, let's see. I mean, I hear something, guys. Pretty sure that this car still has AC. I was trying to find something to push into that. You can just take a screwdriver, stick it in there. Obviously, you don't want to do too much. It's like a tire valve stem in here. Yeah, it's got AC, guys. So I really don't want to recharge that or empty it, I guess. So I'm going to see if I can leave it on here. Worst case, I'm going to have to go ahead and drain it and recharge the system. But for now, let's get these guys out of the way so we can get this whole block and training out of this car. So you can tell things have escalated a bit. I did get that AC pump off the front of the motor there. We got our power steering sitting up to the side there. I went ahead and pulled off the turbo manifold and everything. That's obviously sitting right over there. So we got that off, and you know what? Being a little bit wishy-washy today, but when you see things like this, when your piston's in your oil pan, you get a little bit worried for the cylinder head. We're just going to pull off the head right now. I got everything unhooked anyways. I went ahead and slid the timing belt off, but I don't know how well this is going to focus. That is a freaking wrist pin. So I know that something's going on that's a little more severe than a throwing rod, and I'm a bit worried about this cylinder head being good. So we're just going to go ahead, rush into it now, check it out. There is still valves in the front. Obviously I can't tell in the rear, but we need to get this head off so I can see if it's good or not, and then we can figure out if we're gonna have to get another head. So let's get this thing pulled off, see what happens. I'm just gonna jump forward, get this thing out of here.
I am chopped and screwed, R.I.P. to Pimp C. You think I was from Texas, but I come from Tennessee. We party all night and we on the Hennessy. I want a Cardi B, but I'll settle for a Hennessy. Like my brother from the Ville, I'm real tipsy. I'm with the gang, we just hopped out the limousine. We bar crawling like a centipede, and we getting lit, kerosene. Party all night, we got all the juice. I took a couple shots, now my screws loose. And it's a 90s party, we gon' raise the roof. Tell all the bad girls to come to the booth. Party all night, we got all the juice. I took a couple shots, now my screws loose. And it's a 90s party, we gon' raise the roof. Tell all the bad girls to come to the booth. We gon' party like it's 99. And I'm with all the slimes like Nick, and we lit like Dick. And I'm looking real slick, all black with the fit, wearing Coogee like I'm big. Puma down to the kicks, bust down on the wrist. La mama pressing down on the stick like a PS5. And we been taking flight, we got red eyes. And we ain't on the gram, but we going live. Party all night, we got all the juice. I took a couple shots, now my screws loose. And it's a 90s party, we gon' raise the roof. Tell all the bad girls to come to the booth. Party all night, we got all the juice. I took a couple shots, now my screws loose. And it's a 90s party, we gon' raise the roof. Tell all the bad girls to come to the booth.
Wow guys, we got so lucky with this. I mean, honestly, the piston's still there. So what we're seeing down there is literally the wrist pin off of the piston. That's freaking crazy. It broke that off of there and the piston's still there. But I'll take that any day of the week because that means our cylinder head, take a look, there's no damage underneath here. Obviously we're probably gonna have some bent valves because I can see some indents in the piston. So we're gonna take this thing off the cylinder head, go ahead and have them rebuild this whole head, and we'll get those valves replaced so that way we have good running perfect head for the new motor. But this definitely makes me feel a lot better. I was thinking we're gonna find worst case scenario, guys. I mean, you can tell how clean these pistons are. Everything's still very clean. like it was honestly just rebuilt 1,000 miles ago. So that is what it is, guys. I'll take that any day of the week. I'm actually really happy. I thought we were dead in the water right there, and after seeing that down there, I figured worst case the head was going to be garbage, but that definitely makes me feel a lot better about this. So now we can finish getting this motor back out. I'm going to get the head, the intake manifold off of it, so that way it's easy for cylinder head service to go through the head, and then they'll get that back to us as soon as possible. Motor, I have been checking on tracking. It's about, I don't know, probably another 5-6 days away, so it should be perfect timing to get the cylinder head rebuilt and ready to go, and then we'll have everything ready to go. Nice surprise that this thing had. It actually had head studs in it, and that was something I was going to buy, but it already has them, so that's definitely nice. We don't have to worry about that. Other than that, should be pretty straightforward now to get this thing out of here, because obviously it's all apart. So now I can get those T-case bolts a lot easier too, without the head and intake manifold on. What a mess, guys. I know I work on Subarus all the time, and that's probably why they're so easy to me, but these things are a freaking giant pain in my butt to work on. Like, yeah, the people that say that Subarus are hard and work on these, man, guys, I definitely should push you to try it, because these things suck to work on. Absolutely freaking suck to work on. I never enjoy it. That one is a ton easier, obviously, just because it has 99% of everything deleted, so that thing is a lot easier to work on. But stock, man, this thing's a pain. Well, enough bitching. Let's get this thing out of here and keep on pushing forward.
I've been on that juice like I'm Machiavelli, and I just took a shot and I drank it off a belly. She wanna see the deli, I'ma take it to the telly. I've been on that drink, so there's nothing you can tell me. My confidence is sky high, and baby getting
well, after forever 10 million years later of me being a complete noob, we got this thing out, guys, and freaking pain in my butt, but we did get it out. I did go ahead and pull the oil cooler with it, since no big deal. It was only 3 bolts, and then it doesn't piss oil everywhere. But this thing's all the way out. I did disengage that throw-up bearing while it was in the car. I've learned my lesson of that, and now this thing will be easy to get the transmission off. For now, I'm gonna get this thing all cleaned up, everything covered up, put away. Got my bolt box right there, and clean it up over in the garage area. That way we can go grab some lunch and take this cylinder head in to get rebuilt. So I'm gonna get this stuff cleaned up, and then I'll catch you guys up. Well, guys, we got it all cleaned up. I'm gonna go take that cylinder head in to get rebuilt, and that's gonna wrap up today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I didn't draw it out too long, and you guys enjoyed a new project. Like I said, remember, guys, this thing is gonna be for sale when it's all back up and running. So if you are interested in it, go ahead, look in the description. Email's right down in there so you can get a hold of me. We are located in Spokane, Washington, for some of you that don't know where we are. So just let me know, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane.